Jay to the backboard, coming back out. Gamer with a miss. Jay not going. Shade's there, puts it on, and puts it in. Zach on the goal line. He can't reach it. And it's 3-1. Ace is still rolling. Grand Finals flashbacks for the Dragons. They thought this was a revenge, but it's just an encore.
Welcome to the Backpost Podcast, in partnership with RLGLA and powered by the 8-Bit Nation. And now, your hosts, Shade, Bacon, and the owner of the league, Pitch.
What's going on, Rocket League fans? We're closing in on the end of the throwback week, aka week 4. Some would say the greatest week of all time. You know, I mean, it was fantastic. Bandits on top. As always, I have Bacon and Pitch here with me tonight. And before we dive in, boyos, the would you rather question: would you rather be traded from Galaxy or traded to Galaxy?
What's the difference at the end of that?
I didn't even read this script until right now. That's great.
Like, if you get traded there, you're going to get traded away anyway.
Right. So that's a joke. Would you rather? Actually, I got this would you rather submitted to me. So everybody listening, if you have a would you rather you'd like us to start the show out with to have fun with, DM me and we'll have it on. This would you rather is from Boomer. Would you rather be blue chipped and like you have the skill of a blue chip here? It's not like you guys who suck being blue chipped, you know? Or would you rather stay not blue chipped and just grow from there?
Oh. I would rather be blue chipped.
I mean, I've been working for years to be at that level and have never accomplished it. So I think I would rather be blue chipped, but it has not worked out in my favor so far.
Yeah.
So obviously we all get a lot of shit pushed on us from the league about, oh, why do I have to be blue chipped and all that stuff. I would rather be blue chipped. That's a huge compliment, and that means I have the skill.
For sure.
Like that's what I play this game for.
Oh yeah, I've had conversations with a number of people that have shared those complaints, and I just try to tell them it's a respect thing. We respect your game.
Really is.
It's a jealousy thing. I wish I have skills. I can't do it consistently all the time. I wish I could. I wish I could be at that level consistently.
Yeah, your skills are a little bit too short to pay those bills.
Absolutely.
You know?
When we're sitting in VC and somebody's like, oh, 6-mans. Okay, yeah, my ass isn't joining a 6-mans with fucking Baka, Max, Doggo, Jay, Matty Ice. I'm not doing it. I'm like 4 ranks below the lowest person.
You watch everybody else touch the ball?
Right. Yeah. And I can play, but man, like it's just above my head. So it is a respect thing at the end of the day. I wish I could do it consistently enough to be considered for that blue chip.
And it's a fairness thing too. I mean, we pride ourselves on trying to keep teams fair. And if, you know, the rest of the league is looking at you like, hey, you're the guy, and if, you know, we pair you up with someone else who actually is a blue chip and you think you're on the edge and you guys just dominate, then, you know, it's not fair. So, but I agree with you, Bacon. And you actually just said that before our last 6-mans. You were like, no blue chips in this queue, please.
Right. Just because, yeah, it was looking favorable, but I did one a couple nights ago, and I'm just like, I'm literally like 200 MMR below the lowest person in there. I'm not having fun. I can compete because I'm not stupid, but it's not there, right? So
it's the reason you'll never see Shade Q. Okay.
Shade ain't ever typed no /Q in his life.
Nah. The one time someone got me in there, I think it was last season, I had to ask how I did it. I ain't doing it.
Good question, though. Fans
submitted? We're all on board. Yeah. Boomer submitted. We're all on board. We would rather have that skill of a blue chip and have our team look to us. You know, it's an honor and a respect thing, and we all agree. Better be blue chipped and have that skill.
Sure. And yeah, hey, before we move on, I just wanted to say because it was part of the intro as well, about the throwbacks week. There are, 9 teams who, at one point, were original teams. We do plan to bring some of those teams' throwback jerseys or whatever you want to call them to their games. I know Chicago was Thunderbirds at one point. I'd have to pull out the rest, but if you're one of those teams, definitely look forward to it. If you guys get one of those matchups,
That's
we
dope.
The
definitely want to do.
Thunderbirds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely want to do more of those throwbacks because that was
Yeah,
pretty cool to
I
look
really
at.
enjoyed that dive into the history of the team that
Right.
like Dago got to do on that stream. That was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it was cool.
So yeah, look forward to that. That's cool. But boys, it's time for the week 4 so far review.
Welcome back to the week's review, where we dive deep into the latest news and highlights from the competitive world of RLGLA.
Right?
Yeah.
We still got some leftovers from week 3 there, Beacon.
Yeah, just some stuff that we didn't get to talk about last week because the games hadn't happened yet. So
Happens.
it does. We had Death Valley 3-2 Chicago. Good win for them. Last week when we were recording, I had Red Guy DMing me talking about that they're going to get it together and they're going to do this and that and da-da-da-da-da. Well, he delivered against Chicago. We'll talk about how week 4 went for him later. But, yeah, 3-2 over Chicago.
New York versus Jacksonville. New York wins 3-1, breaking my heart for my boys in Jacksonville.
Yeah, New York's an interesting team. They're a very difficult team for me to read as to how they're going to do.
Yeah, I have a heart for Jacksonville, so I just expect more of them. Come on, Huntu.
Sure. That listened to Monterey getting a 3-2 victory over Palm Beach. Koa and the boys handing it to Anomaly. It was a good series. It was very fun to watch.
This was game of the week, and what a game of the week it was for sure.
Big time.
That was a good one. I actually watched that one. So.
And the week wrapped up with Ottawa remaining undefeated at that time by going 3-1 over RLC to finish out week 3.
Week 3 in the bags. Moving on to that week 4 so far. Because we got, what, you said 2 games?
2
coming
games
up?
tomorrow. This is Saturday night, 2 games Sunday.
Gotcha. And what are those 2 games we're waiting on?
Tomorrow will be New York and Colorado. That's at 4 p.m. And then it ends with Palm Beach and Columbus at 8.
Rutland and
Columbus. Sorry.
Rutland, Columbus. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we'll have more than that next week. But we said you're going to dive into Jacksonville again, and we do, with them winning 3-2 over Death Valley.
And I know Red Guy wanted this matchup so bad. Made it a great series, but just fell short at the end.
So this is a game that Hatu played for both these teams last season, and Red Guy was on Jacksonville for a while.
And Patty was on both as well.
And Patty was too. Yeah, Patty was on both.
And this was a reverse sweep for Jacksonville as well. Death Valley did lead 2-0.
Yeah, so that was a good series. It was fun to watch.
It's funny you were saying, Bacon, that Red Guy was messaging you during. After the podcast was released last week, he messaged me, said, "I heard you."
Yeah, I got that too.
Okay.
I heard that too.
So he reached out to everybody. Yeah, I got that after too.
Yeah, he said, "I heard you. We winning."
And I mean, they played so good. So I think they have what they need to succeed. It's just putting it together with time.
I'm just saying, Red Guy, I don't like being lied to.
And Jacksonville's a strong team. They just picked up a blue chip for the first time and Busy.
Sure.
So they're looking stronger than ever right now.
Moving on to Phoenix versus Ottawa.
Damn.
Phoenix taking that 3-2, taking it to Game 5.
This was a fun series. Ottawa pushed, Battle of Undefeateds. Ottawa pushed Phoenix to their limit. They're not the only team that's done so, but they did it here, and yet again, Phoenix found a way to win.
This was a trade-off series. It was Phoenix win game 1, 3, and 5, and Ottawa won 2 and 4. Was a fun game to cast, and like I said, battle of undefeateds. Can't get better than that.
Then Memphis took out Omaha 3-1.
Yep, this isn't in complete order because that game was today, but Omaha looked competitive in this series.
They did.
It's just kind of too little too late. Memphis closed it out. But it was a very enjoyable 4-game series to watch.
Yeah, it's surprising, in my opinion. I mean, Omaha even won a game 8-2, I believe, that their only win.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, they smashed.
I mean, Omaha, they can put it together. They just got to keep it consistent. And
yeah,
they'll be a fine team. They'll be fine. Palm Beach got the brooms out on Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas having made a roster move, which we'll talk about later, and Anomaly and the rest of Palm Beach took advantage. 3-0.
Made them pay. Made them pay for sure. Where we got here? I lost my spot. Monterey and Houston.
Yep, this was.
I went to bed because I had work.
This game came off of the heels of kind of an impromptu scrim with a couple of us aces and Koa against Houston with their new lineup. And it definitely shows that they're a new lineup. They did look a little bit better offensively, especially according to Boomer. But Monterey didn't care about that. 3-1.
Remain undefeated. Surprising. That's it. I know T-Mac will be the first to tell you in general chat. I mean, we had them 19th in power rankings before the season started, but they have proved us wrong so far.
Yeah, you should probably keep them there, though. Sleeping. They're the sleepy sharks.
Jeez.
Can't call them the log sharks anymore, which sucks.
Nah, they're just the sleepy ones. We got Honolulu taking out Chicago 3-2. Another game 5.
Another reverse sweep as well.
Which I was shocked. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be disrespectful to Chicago. Did not anticipate this series going to 5, especially Honolulu being down 2-0. But it prevailed at the end. But that's maybe some cracks in the armor for Honolulu. It shouldn't have been this close.
No, it definitely shouldn't have. And Chicago has definitely played down to a lot of teams. They did just sign Melo, and that's helped out. Obviously, we can see from this game. So we'll see where they can go from here. If that's the first step of rebuilding, since their team completely collapsed.
I do like Melo. So yeah, if they can continue to get some chemistry or put some more talent, different talent around Melo, I think it could work.
Just watched this game. RLC taking on Fayetteville, and our boy Smurfy taking it 3-1. Let's go. I was hyped watching this game.
Smurfy looked wonderful. Hi, Smurfy.
I agree. I'm gonna have to agree with you here. He definitely played a big part in them winning the series.
Yeah, he was cooking. That's
Absolutely.
For sure. So, good job.
Yeah, I'll give it to RLC too. They lost game 1 and just came back with 3 unanswered wins. So they definitely looked better, and they get their first win of the season.
Speaking of first wins of the season,
bum, bum, bum.
We got Atlantic City versus Philly. That throwback we were talking about, the Bandits and the Dragons. They were the first 2 seasons in the championship together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back-to-back finals. Philly
fell in those finals. Pitch was talked about a lot because he makes it to the finals, didn't win them. Yeah, we got to play it out again. Bandits, same roster, and Dragons had some new faces. Aces are taking it 3-0, though, which I don't think anybody really saw coming, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm biased-wise. I mean, I definitely didn't see a sweep here, but you guys definitely handed it to us. To be honest, if you guys are asking for my opinion on what happened, I couldn't even tell you. I thought we were a lot stronger than I guess what we were. We couldn't get the offense going at all.
And that's what it was. We actually, I specifically expected, because you kind of play a very aggressive offensive play style pitch. And you did in this series, but everything about the offensive rotation looked kind of slow. Just a little sluggish. It didn't look normal. So I look forward to matching up with Philly again. I think it could be a competitive series if everybody's on top of their game.
And I'll give you guys props too, because I do remember you the last week podcast that you said that you were going to put in some work this week, and I saw you put in some work. You guys were in team chats a lot. You guys were practicing, doing VOD reviews. I saw it. So
we did.
We did not do that, and it showed. You guys handed it to us pretty well.
We started off.
I think it was
so bad.
It was pretty competitive games 1 and 2. But you guys blew us out of the water in game 3.
So I rewatched the series literally before you got in here, and I mean I was watching it and really couldn't see anything to really point out about you guys that you guys did super wrong or anything. But it did just seem slower than what I would expect, like Bacon said, and we kept the pressure when we were putting pressure.
Yeah, and as a manager, I know I'm not the best player on my team, but as a manager, I do feel like I do need to speak up on how we can kind of change our. And over the last 5 seasons, I've been able to make adjustments with my team and kind of see what's going on wrong. But our biggest point was stop giving them so much time, and I was saying that after every game. And we just were not making it happen. You guys had all the time in the world in the air,
funny you say
on
that.
the ground.
Yeah, because Jay said it multiple times when we were playing. Well, if they're going to give me time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, after every single game, I was saying that. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers or blaming anybody because I'm part of the blame as well. But
just got to get in faces sometimes and
sure,
be aggressive.
And I know you guys are going to come at us hard too, so
of course.
Oh, we gave you everything we could.
Super ready for it. but all love to it. I mean, Philly's still sitting 2-2, so you guys aren't in a bad spot. So
favorable schedule coming up.
We needed that win more than you guys
Absolutely.
did. I'll tell you that. But it was fun.
It was fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I
mean, I was hype as hell during that game pitch. My wife was sitting behind me, and we'd get up, and I'd be standing up cheering, and she would be rolling her eyes behind me, man.
And the fact, like, even though we lost, like, the fact of you saying that just, like, prides me. Because, I run this league, and, getting guys hype over matchups like this is just all that I'm about. Yeah. So
it was a good, fun matchup. I wanted to talk more shit in chat, like, during the game, but I didn't know how the rest of your team would take it. I know it'd be all fun and whatnot, but I didn't want to piss anybody off too bad, so I waited till the end to just say Bandits on top.
Yeah, because Zach's a homie, but I don't know where he would stand. So.
Right. Pitch knows me enough I'm going to talk shit. So
I know, and after that, because I had a game to stream. I think I was the Scorchers game to stream afterwards. So I hopped like right out of my VC, and my guys were like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" I'm like, I just got another game to stream.
Right.
Oh, immediately after you said GG, so I knew it was all good. But you dipped quickly, and I was like, "Ooh, pitch is out."
It was it was 9:40, and the game was at 10. So I was like, I got to start setting up.
Good deal.
All right, so we got through it. It was a good week, fun times. Pitch, you want to dive into the player/clip of the week stuff?
Absolutely. So clip of the week this week going to Farley of the Jacksonville Kraken. You guys can see that awesome flip reset double tap off the corner that he performed in his week 2 matchup against the Galaxy. And then moving on to the players of the week. Remember, this is for week 2. Week 3 voting is still ongoing at the moment. Eastern offensive player of the week will be Huntu of the Kraken, and defensive player of the week, Beef of the New York Knights. And moving down to Western, the offensive player of the week, Red Guy of the Death Valley Reapers and Defensive Player of the Week in the Western Conference. 6 full of the Honolulu Sea Riders. All voted on, and like I said, I'm not sure when we plan on releasing this, but voting for week 3 is ending tomorrow. Make sure you guys get your votes in.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Bacon, you know what to do next, man.
Oh man, my player of the week. I've got to do it because I've never been given the opportunity.
Oh, you see, you're flattering me.
My player of the week is going to be Shade. And
don't lie to the people.
It is. I called an audible before we started recording. I had a different one. I gotta point this out. So, most people play with Shade. Sometimes Shade's a little abrasive, but he's very kind. He will hop in a VC with anybody. He's always playing games, streaming videos, streaming football, whatever. But when it comes down to sitting there and having to take criticism regarding playing a video game, that's tough for anybody to swallow. This is a little biased because I got to see this firsthand. We did we've done a VOD review since the last episode. We've played with some different people, taken some different feedback, and it's been something that both Shade and I have really had to take on the chin. Jay's had to take some criticism on the chin. And the change, I've played with Shade since day one of this game coming out. So the change that I saw in Shade from week 3 game to week 4 game, just in confidence, really allowed him to be a bit more mechanical and a bit more precise with his shooting in this last game, and is definitely a difference maker. We were able to keep that pressure because Shade was putting shots on. It took a body to save those shots, which means Jay's shooting, I'm shooting, Shade's shooting again. Doesn't matter. So as far as affecting a team right now, it's got to be Shade for me on this week. Congratulations, bro.
I appreciate that and all.
You deserve it. I saw it on the opposite end of the field as well. So,
it means a lot, both of you saying that, because I don't have as much time as I'd like to have to get better for the team. I would love to get better to be blue chip rated. We talked about it earlier, and it's just life gets in the way of that. So I appreciate that, Bacon.
Absolutely. And I'll go ahead and tell you who it was before I audibled, and it's because people might be pissed off that I picked Shade. Yeah, I'm gonna piss you off again. I was about
to put it out there as well.
I'm gonna piss people off again. If it wasn't Shade, it was fucking Smurfy, that pretty motherfucker right there. We went from 30 minutes before kickoff of this game. I thought they were gonna forfeit because I was hearing about scrims. I had to challenge them with monkey bars in general. And if y'all have been around since season 2, you know the power. Dangerous. You know the power of the monkey bars. So I made somebody leave the league by challenging with the monkey bars. So get at me.
That was funny.
It was Smurfy. But he's another one that you're not expecting them to be on the top of the leaderboard. You're not expecting them to come out and put up, blue chip type plays. Smurfy carried his freaking team. I don't care what the scores were. Watching it, the eye test, he passed it. It's the same thing that Shade did for me against Philly. It's the eye test. The numbers don't matter. It's doing the right things consistently. Smurfy, it's the best performance I've seen out of Smurfy in 3 seasons now.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. A lot of things you can do in this game that are very important that the game's not giving you points for. Not high points. You're going to get your ball touch point. But it was a very important ball touch that you're only getting your 2 points for. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. Watching Smurfy, I was in chat rooting for him. It was good. So
big time, fantastic week. I've loved week 4 so far. It's been a good series, good play out of a lot of people. Well, I'm a little passionate about my player of the week and why I got 2. But Shade was first. Shade's the official player of the week.
Put it in the history books, people.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like it, it doesn't matter.
Let's go.
We're going to go into Team Spotlight now. Who we got on the docket? We got, starting out, the Death Valley Reapers.
We've talked about them a fair amount because a couple of guys on there, local guys, managed by Red Guy.
Local to us.
Yes, local to us. Manager of Red Guy with his blue chip buddy Patty, and Frighten and Army Vet Drew filling out that roster. I personally would expect a ton out of this team, but they are sitting 1-3, having just lost to Jacksonville. Close series though, and they're playing out of the Airbus division with Monterey, Memphis, Las Vegas, and Austin.
Definitely feeling like these guys are needing their pitch back on the field with them.
I agree.
They need to get it going. Frighten either needs to step it up, or Army Vet Drew. I mean, don't get me wrong, Red Guy and Patty aren't perfect, but we know what to expect out of those guys. You know, after spending a season, most of the season with them and pitch, and Bacon, you helped out with the scheduling stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Like, we know what to expect from Red Guy and Patty.
And the morale.
Yeah. Yeah. We might want to hire Bacon to get in there and talk with you guys.
Listen, my Venmo's open. Just saying. But yeah, I love watching this team play. Even when it doesn't go well, I like watching Red Guy and Patty on the pitch together. They have a noticeable chemistry, and I've always kind of prided that because every season I've played in the league, I've played with Shade. And there's just chemistry. I like chemistry. So I hope to see better things come out of Death Valley.
Yeah, Red Guy, Patty, those are my guys. We got to the top 8 last season. We definitely thought we could have got farther. I definitely expected them to get out on the right foot here so far. Like you said, 1-3. Just put up a good series against Jacksonville, but lost. But I think it could be only up from here for them.
Sure.
There's a lot of good things coming out of those games. So
yeah, and actually, since we're on it, I believe every game they played so far has gone to Game 5.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, they are 4 series down, 20 games played. So yeah,
That's
all 4.
crazy.
All 4 have gone to Game 5.
It's another team that has a piece of my heart because of Red Guy and Patty. So come on, boys,
Well,
get her done.
Let's maybe break that heart, and let's talk about where do you think they're going to finish in this division?
With Monterey, Memphis, Vegas, and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they need to turn it around. Luckily,
Yeah, it's definitely tough to judge. There's a couple teams. Austin look on the rise. Monterey, obviously undefeated, looking good. But Vegas just turned their whole team around. I don't know if they'll really climb to their potential any more than what they had. I can see the Reapers finishing maybe second.
that's what I was thinking. Second, third.
Yeah, I do think Monterey take this division. If Austin stay on fire like they just looked tonight, they could finish third as well. So I'm gonna say they're second or third, hoping for second though at least.
Pretty tough division. Looking at those teams, so
It is, and I'm going to go out on a limb. I think they're going to compete for first in that division.
Yeah, it is a long season. You know?
It is a long season. At some point, I think Monterey comes back down to earth a little. And that's why I said compete for first. I think Death Valley will end up being second, but they will push Monterey for first in that division.
I mean, they're only gonna be what, 2-3 games out of first right now.
They're
right?
3 games out. Yep.
Yeah, so you can make that
It's
up.
definitely it's not a bad take at all. So.
Yeah, so you guys can do it. Patty, Red Guy, Frighten, Army Vet Drew, put the work in, turn that team around. Let's go. Jumping off Death Valley Reapers, we'll go do the Phoenix Scorchers.
Oh man.
With Get Wired managing Doggo as the blue chip, and they got DK and Speedy Duck. Currently sitting undefeated. So that's awesome. We kind of saw that coming though with Doggo. They got a hard division of the Gulf Stream with Honolulu sitting there. Omaha, I think people kind of sleep on Omaha. And then they got Colorado and Houston sitting there, which who knows what team they'll have in Houston.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you say like 4-0 expected. I don't know, to be honest, if I did expect it. We do know, we all do know Doggo, being so well. But
Did you pick against them?
no, I never have.
Expected.
Well, yeah. They've definitely played in some really close series. There has been weeks where I've doubted them. I can't lie, but they prove me wrong every time. But they definitely survived RLC. They definitely survived Ottawa. I think when you say like expected 4-0, I think I hear like, oh, like they're blowing teams out of the water. They're really not. These are some close games that they're playing in. They get another tough matchup here next week.
Oh yeah, 100%. When I say expected, it's because Doggo is a mind surgeon, so he's gonna see what he can do to take advantage of something, and he's gonna correct things to make it happen. I saw him carry people who had no business being at the level they were, and those people thinking they were playing well because they were with Doggo.
Oh yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that.
Right. That's why I'm like, I expect it personally. I don't like the series could be close and all, but I expected Doggo to win.
But I do get a little bit of what you're saying, Pitch, and it might not have been what Shade meant. Coming out of the draft, no, I would not have pegged them to start 4-0. After week 1, I would have bet them going 4-0. So once we saw the team in action, I was locked in. I expected it. Coming out of the draft, no. I thought they would struggle either week 1 or week 2. That there'd be
That's weird
something.
To me because we know what Get Wired and EK have together, and then you throw Doggo into that.
See, and that's beforehand. That's why I've given so much props to DK and Get Wired on how well they've performed. Because realistically, no, I had it as a severe gap between Doggo and them.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, yeah.
But
I
them
love those
combined
guys. Yeah.
now versus that, I don't think the gap's that much. We've seen plenty of times where Doggo's been bumped out of position or even taken out of the play, but Get Wired and DK are still playing to the level, preventing the game from getting out of hand. The stats are there because Doggo's the fastest player on most pitches, so he's gonna get his. But that's before the season started. No, I wouldn't have picked 4-0. Once I saw him play Galaxy week 1, yep. I don't know when they're gonna lose. Hence my predictions every week, and I've said it every week. I'm gonna pick them until they lose. Period.
I personally know when they're going to lose. More on that later.
Oh gosh.
Well, you know what? Let's hear it from the man's mouth himself. With a little interview with our boy Get Wired.
First of the season. Excited.
First interview.
Get into it.
Sit back and enjoy our exclusive interview segment, where we chat with top players and coaches to gain insights into their strategies and experiences in the competitive world of Rocket League.
Get Wired. That is who we have with us today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Manager of the Phoenix Scorchers. How are you today, Get Wired?
Doing pretty good.
Good, like to hear it. So for everybody listening should know, but Phoenix Scorchers is Get Wired, Doggo, DK, and Speedy Ducks. They are undefeated currently. Kind of not surprised by it. And they're pretty well balanced for sub play. So with that, we heard the name, Doggo. What's it like playing with him in league games, man?
You know, honestly, it's interesting. He has all these different types of call outs and stuff that really gets our focus, and he's always letting us know where he is on the field, so it helps us all not double commit and keep our rotations going smooth.
Okay, yeah, that's having, we've had Doggo in our 8-bit Discord for quite some time before we ever joined RLGLA, and yeah, he definitely communicates, so glad to hear that, you and DK are benefiting from that.
Yeah, one thing I've definitely noticed about your guys' games, I mean, with Doggo in the league, we know, we did raise the MMR cap, so he could play this season. But the games, some of them have been close. I mean, let's talk about that reverse sweep against RLC. Explain what you guys were thinking when you guys were down 2-0 and how you guys came back into it.
So, obviously, having Doggo on the team is a huge benefit, and off of the first 2 games, he figured out what the problem was and what was going on, and he just told us to pick up our speed and start challenging everything that we can, and that's exactly what we did.
I'm glad y'all did, because I went all in on that game on the Scorchers with the channel points. I think around that time it was like 125, 140,000. Yeah, so I was sweating, but glad to see y'all pull that out. That with your other wins currently has you guys sitting in a great spot standings wise. You think this team can go all the way?
Yeah, I definitely think that this team can go all the way. I mean, Doggo's a great first man, and it's just sweet to watch him cook. And then if Doggo ever gets taken out of the play or he's slow behind, me and DK are fast at work with our teamwork.
That is true. Watching you guys, there have been times where Doggo's not on top of his game. So yeah, seeing how you and DK kind of adjust to that and are still able to, for the most part, keep goals out, it's impressive.
It would be remarkable to see ending season 4 bottom of the leaderboard, literally last place, to hear 4-0 now. So definitely rooting for you guys. So hopefully you guys keep up the great work.
So let's get dirty for a second. First question's easy, second question's not. Is there any team that you are excited to face not excited, other way, that you're anxious to face, that you think could pose a problem to your guys' style of play?
I think we already played the 2 teams that we were pretty worried about, which is the one with Matty Ice, RLC, and the other team holding
He was so afraid of them.
Think
he
of
could
his
not
name.
Think of who it is.
It's so afraid.
So you guys played Galaxy. Were you afraid of Boomer? You weren't afraid of Boomer.
No. We already knew what to kind of expect. He likes to go a lot for his flip resets, so we were set and ready for that.
Okay. You guys just played Ottawa. Was it them? They were undefeated going into that matchup as well.
Ottawa was a big match.
Yeah, that was a good back and forth matchup as well. I think you guys traded games each game of the series. So that was a fun one to watch.
Yeah. Is there any team that you think that you could beat every time you face them right now?
That's a pretty tough question. A lot of these teams are they're about the same, but I guess if I had to pick one, I would say I think we could pull it off every time against the RLC.
Interesting. Okay, RLC fills the answer for both of those. That's interesting.
They're a strong team, but they're also something that I think we can handle pretty well.
Just glad you didn't say the Aces.
I was expecting him to say Galaxy and really set everything on fire. Well,
Galaxy's had so many teams. Hard to say.
this is
Yeah.
true. That team has changed twice since they played them. That's crazy.
Twice? I think it was more than that.
Well, okay, but like full over.
Yeah, full, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, Galaxy 3 blue chips and 4 losses. So really building up here. But we're not talking about Galaxy. So you get wired. You actually kind of reached out and requested to be on the podcast. Do you have any particular reason, or you just wanted to be a part of it?
I kind of wanted to be a part of it. I always like listening to it while I work, and it's gives me something to look forward to every game.
My man. Okay. Well, anything else that you'd like to say to the league? Anybody you want to call out, shout out? Anything. Floor is yours.
Put somebody on blast.
Do it.
Who you coming for?
Yeah, I want to say, Unfo, we hope you try to come back for a second game. It was definitely fun dunking on you.
Ooh.
And I kind of want to just put it out there that we're definitely looking for the team that we think is worthy to beat us, because we're kind of hot right now.
Gauntlet.
Love the confidence. Love it.
I'm here for it. That's a challenge to the league. There are 19 teams right now that he just challenged. Got to step up. Somebody's got to take down Doggo and the rest of the Scorchers.
Yeah, and actually, I do want to add to this. I mean, you guys have another big matchup next week. Another undefeated team you guys are going up against in Honolulu. You guys have a game plan strategy? Worried?
Doggo usually fills us in on game plans because he does a lot of the streaming himself. So he watches all of their games, which is a huge benefit for us. And I wish them luck, and only one of us can be undefeated forever, so...
Yeah, well, right now there are 3 undefeated teams left. You were one of them, and Honolulu is the second of the third. So after that, there will only be 2, and we'll see if it's you guys or not. But that's another big one for you guys as well. It's a divisional game. If you do win, you guys will shoot up second place in the West. So definitely looking forward to seeing that game. And you might even have it marked down. It should be game of the week. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it definitely is. So definitely looking forward to that one. Yeah, it's been fun watching you guys play so far.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Shade, any last questions here for Get Wired?
No, you guys had them all written down. Good to go. You know, hard to see people beating that team. Doggo, like you said, he knows how to read people. He's helped us and when VOD reviews and stuff. So like, he's great. He's a great mind in the game, and I don't know. There's not much to say else, but they're the team to beat.
We can all agree that DK is ass, though, right?
Oh, 100.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, at least outside of stuff, but in league games, I am more than impressed by Get Wired and DK. Definitely stepping up. But outside of that, yes, DK is ass.
I heard he was trying to overthrow Get Wired.
Yeah, a little bit of an anarchy they want to do if we lose our first game, so...
I heard that yesterday as well, so I do fear for you, Get Wired, but if anarchy happens, you're more than welcome to come back on here and plead your case.
All right, thank you guys.
It was a pleasure having you.
Cool, thank you.
All right, thank you.
What a great interview that was, man. We got a lot of insight on the Phoenix Scorchers and kind of confirmed what we were just talking about beforehand, where Doggo is doing a lot of that, seeing what the other teams are doing and calculating what they need to do to fix why they're losing in series and turn things around.
It's always cool doing an interview on the podcast with players from other teams because once we get up to face them, then we kind of know what they're focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been spoiled getting to deal with Doggo for years now at this point. Him and Max, the cerebral players that they are, figuring out what's happening in the moment, how to fix it, how to rebound. God, it's impressive. So it was cool to get that insight from him that he's seeing the same thing. Somebody I've hardly ever talked to, he's seeing that in a completely different element. That's cool.
All around good interview. We'll be reaching out for more interviews coming up. Obviously, I love the interviews. I don't ask too many questions because I feel like that's a you guys thing, but I love sitting in on it and just giving a little take here and there. We got the standings to dive into, though. Pitch loves doing that.
Stay tuned to discover the rising stars, seasoned veterans, and the underdogs who are defying all odds in our league standings review.
Yeah, of course we do. All right, so as we stand on Saturday night, February the 10th, still 2 games to play into week 4. We'll just dive into the conference standings a little bit because that's kind of the most important. In the East, in order, the first place spot goes to Ottawa Orcas sitting at 3-1, even after the loss. Still standing at first in the conference, and then the other division winner, the Boeing division, are as of now Rutland Rangers. They have not played their game yet, so they're still 2-1. That puts them on top in the Boeing. They're in the second spot in the East. Moving down to 3 through 7, who all qualified technically as of right now. Palm Beach Pythons, Jacksonville Kraken, the Dragons, the Knights, Chicago Lions, and if the season ended today, who would be eliminated in the 8th through 10th spot, Fayetteville, Atlantic City Aces, and Columbus, down 8, 9, and 10. Moving on to the West. Number 1 in the West right now is Monterey, sitting at 4-0. And the second spot is the leader of the Gulfstream division right now, which is the Honolulu Sea Riders. That spot is going to be up for grabs next week as they face off with the Scorchers in the Gulfstream division, who are also 4-0. They're sitting in third right now. Memphis, Las Vegas, Omaha, and Death Valley all claim 4th through 7th. And like I said, if the season ended today, eliminated 8th through 10th would be Austin RLC, Colorado Mavericks 0-3, and Houston Galaxy 0-4, still looking for their first wins here in Season 5. And that is pretty much it right now. Like I said, 2 games to play tomorrow. 4 different standings will change. And stay up to date in the Discord. You guys will see all of that as the week ends.
Great stuff. Next thing on the dock, we got the trades / signings so far.
It's time for Trades and Signings, where we bring you all the roster shakeups and player acquisitions that are reshaping the RLGLA landscape.
This should just be called the Boomer segment. Love you, Boomer. Absolutely love you, bro. But he kicked off the week with some action. He traded his blue chip Nels and his sub Diabito Brett and a season 6 round 2 and 3 pick to Las Vegas for one of his favorite players, Boss and King of the World. And
Who's next?
Yep, and to be able to afford doing so, he released Dragon Fruit, who we thought was going to be the greatest dude that he's ever had. Dragon Fruit's gone, and he signed Merm X. Guess how you pronounce it? I don't know.
Who, if you talk to Boomer, is crazy.
Yeah, we scrimmed him.
Crazy good or
crazy good. Everybody he ever signs is crazy good.
Oh yeah.
But this is different.
Top tier, should be a bubble player. But yeah, I mean, we scrimmed him early on right after this happened and kind of handed it to him. And then they had their game. We know how that went. So I do think they'll get better with time because Boomer and Boss do have incredible chemistry. So if they can fit King of the World into that, or Mermex, then it could be a problem. But I mean,
If not,
there's
they'll
only
just
14
trade.
weeks, and they're down 4 games now. So at some point, wins got to start trickling in. Otherwise, the season's a wash.
Don't you worry. I've heard about the ripcord emergency.
Oh God. Okay, we're gonna move on. All right, we can talk about Boomer's antics forever. It's almost as if he should have his own episode, but whatever. Jacksonville released Young Wild Boy and signed Busy RL. Is this the blue chip that you were talking about, Pitch?
Yeah, yep, that's him.
Okay. And almost immediately when Young Wild Boy was released, Rutland released Cosmo and signed Young Wild Boy. Saw this coming. That was Young Wild Boy was a player that Frosty's been looking at since before the draft. So he finally got a chance to get him on roster with Baca.
Right on. We go into Bacon's segment.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about free agents. Now I listed all the names last week. I'm not doing it again this week because we already did it last week, and there hasn't been a whole lot that's changed. Nobody is still signed Breezy. Don't know what the hell y'all are doing. But we talked about him last week. But this week I'm going to talk about Matizu. Matizu is one of my favorite players to watch. If you've been listening since we started this podcast, you guys know that I love to pick somebody and talk about them all the time, that I love watching them. Matizu's that for me. A very skilled player. Shocked that he's in free agency. So, if you're, especially with the influx of these people, some people lost their blue chip. So some of you guys have a little bit more maneuverability now. To bring in Matizu to pair with a different blue chip and start making that playoff push. So look at Matizu, but there are plenty of good players out there.
All right. Well, you heard him. Sign Matizu. Going down. Before we get to the predictions, we're going to get Pitch's player or players to watch for.
And my players to watch for is really going to be focused on a game this week. And this has been a heavily favored Scorchers podcast so far. But right here, I'm going to go against them at the moment. Right now, my player to watch out for is Kilo in the Honolulu Sea Riders. Big matchup, big divisional game this week for Honolulu and Phoenix, both 4-0, both in the same division. Definitely in the long run can look back at tiebreakers and look at this game as what lost them or what won them the division. But Kilo, as of right now, has kind of been in six-fold shadow a little bit. I'm just going to come out and say it. So, I mean, a lot of their games have been close. They were able to battle back against Chicago and win that series. But as a team as a whole, this is a great roster. We scrimmed them a couple times. We've worked them, they've worked us, back and forth. So Kilo right now going to be my player to watch for. Kilo, love you, boo, but let's step up the game here. You got a big game this week, and let's show the league what Honolulu's got. So that's gonna be me, or my player to watch for.
And now we put our Rocket League crystal balls to the test with our predictions segment. We will analyze upcoming matchups and make bold forecasts on who's gonna come out on top.
Well, since we've talked about it so much, let's go ahead and get it out of the way for the predictions here. Game of the week is the game you just spoke about, Phoenix versus Honolulu.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Honolulu has enough firepower to not only maybe have to go to Game 5, but take it in Game 5 over the Scorchers.
I love Sixfold. I love Kilo. But Doggo is him, and they haven't lost yet, so I'm picking Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, to go along with the player to watch for, I gotta pick Honolulu here. Hopefully, Kilo listening to this podcast sets a flame under his ass and gets to work this week with his team. I got Honolulu over Phoenix.
I mean, I personally think there's enough firepower, so we'll see. Moving on to Ottawa versus Columbus. I'm taking Ottawa.
Yeah, Columbus. I'm excited to watch them play Rutland, kind of see what they got going on, but it's got to be Ottawa.
Yeah, Columbus just have not impressed me yet this season. Last week they came out and almost got an upset win over who was that? Palm Beach, I believe. No, who was that? Try to look above. I can't see him. Oh God. Oh, that's week 4. Okay, never mind. Week 3 is what I'm talking about. But they almost got it done. Ram Ranch finally. I don't know who they're putting on the field anymore. So I got to pick Ottawa in this situation.
Jacksonville versus Monterey. Going with my boys in Jayville. Taking it to them.
This is another one where it kind of feels like a pick 'em till they lose thing. I love the chemistry Monterey's got going, and until that falters, I'm picking Monterey.
And me and Shade on this same page so far. I got Jacksonville as well. I think this is where Monterey finally falls. Jacksonville, even without a blue chip, have looked great so far. Now that they got one, even better. I think it might be too much for Monterey this week.
Kraken's on top. That's a notable game, by the way. I don't know if I said that before we paid, but that's a notable game for us. The next one is also notable in New York versus Palm Beach. So notable that we're all taking the same person or same team.
Oh
which
yeah,
is Palm Beach.
I love the suspense build. Yeah, Palm Beach got my favorite Canadian on there, and they've looked good this season. So, yep.
I'm definitely looking out for them tomorrow during their game, but as of right now, I do think this will be closer than you think, but I do have Palm Beach.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a good series, but Palm Beach pulling it out. Chicago versus Fayetteville. Even though we just watched RLC take them out, I'm going with Fayetteville in this one.
Yeah, I think Icy Little Wizard and Scribbles is a devastating duo. It's going to overpower teams that aren't ready for it, and I got Fayetteville.
And I will be the odd man out here, and I am taking Chicago. They looked good against Honolulu. Fayetteville the last 3 weeks have looked really bad. I'm going Chicago. I think they pull this one out and start their climb back up in the ranks.
Bodes well for you, Chicago, because Pitch is kind of kicking our ass.
Kind
No,
of.
not much. No,
Kind
last
of.
week I kind of fell a bunch, so give a little opportunity to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But a lot of these games tend to go us picking a lot of the same people, except for maybe this one. Who knows? Rutland versus Colorado. Rutland. You know.
Yeah, Pitch's picking this game kind of gave me heartburn. I mean, I'm just don't see it with Colorado. This is
Spoiler.
the Rutland roster. There's been some turnover, but they're sitting 2-1 pending their game tomorrow, and I think Baca's too much. Colorado does not have an answer for Baca. It's going to be Rutland.
I am picking Colorado. I just can't see Colorado losing every week, and I do see them picking up one here. I know, just a little insider real quick, as the Dragons, we've scrimmed both these teams, or we scrimmed Rangers and we played Colorado in a match game. We did have our sub in, and they kept it kind of close, and we did kind of it was before all the turnover in Rutland, but we did kind of give a good game to Rutland as well. So I think Colorado can pull out an upset this upcoming week, but we'll see.
See, that's just going to be my point there. Yeah, you played Colorado before the turnover. We watched a series last week where, no disrespect, but Kaipo had to play every game. You think Kaipo is going to stop Baca? Nah.
Maybe.
No, I said I scrimmed Rutland before all the turnover.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Regardless, Kaipo, I don't think you can stop Baca. Prove me wrong, but you won't.
Pitch is calling it an upset, though.
Yeah,
He is.
I don't
res-
think.
respect there.
Hopefully, Kaipo. No offense, Kaipo. Hopefully they have the 3 starting roster and
Gonna have
Killer
to-
B, Corvus, and Yuki because that's an okay, decent team to get it done.
Certainly.
Kaipo, no offense, you've looked good, but
Gonna have to get a upset of the week as well, because that could easily be the upset of the week pick.
Certainly.
We got Atlantic City Bandits versus Memphis. We got to remain the Bandits if we want to win, and I'm sacrificing my picks because I picked against us last week. We got the W. Memphis, I'm picking you so we can win.
Yep, I picked us in a win, and I'm gonna continue to pick us. I love the roster that Memphis has, but I love me, Jay, and Shade more. Atlantic City.
you know what? I think last week no. Did I? Oh yeah, I picked Philly last week, so I'll change. I'll go to Memphis, so we get the same little voodoo happening.
What a homie.
Yeah, we got
You
dubs
guys-
this week. Let's go.
You guys are gonna pull this one out now.
The magic
So-
is with
so
us. Sorry, Memphis.
I'm picking Memphis, and if they do win and it reflects better on my podcast record, I'm still happy with it.
Bacon said earlier when I made the Memphis pick for the sacrifice, he said, well, you're in a win-win there. We either win and you win, so awesome, or you picked it correctly. Then we got our next and final of the notable games. Philly taking on Houston. I'm picking against you again, Pitch.
Oh, you picked with me
Here.
last week.
Oh, last week I did pick with you. You're right, but that was just because I knew we needed it to win. But I'm picking against you simply because we beat you. I mean, what are you doing?
Boomer is not going to field a roster that starts the season 0-5. Galaxy.
Philly.
Man, it would be funny though.
Listen, I feel like I'm in a win-win there because if Boomer goes 0-5, man, am I gonna have fun with him? But if he wins, I got the pick right. So.
And we do it out of love, Boomer. We love you. That's why we pick on you. But
and out of hate, Houston's starting 0-5. So
I want to.
It's gonna be a good match.
I want to see it go
I can't wait to see
3-2. Because really, we haven't gotten to see too many instances of like Boomer versus Pitch. They were teamed season 2, so there's just been less opportunity there. So I'm looking forward to this one.
we played like 4 times last season.
Well, I was also kind of in and out of the league last season. So
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that actually Houston, Jacksonville became a little rivalry last.
it did. I
season.
was
Yeah.
on roster when we knocked them down in Swiss.
Yeah.
And that was the hypest moment since we won the championship season 2.
Oh my god! And we swept them, and that was so much fun. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were number 1 coming in, and we were like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Boomer is loving this conversation right now.
But yeah. I think we played them in the mid-season cup championship. They won, and then we played them. I guess only once in the regular season, so maybe it was only 3 times. But yeah.
Oh, and I forget, I did have one other little tidbit to share with Galaxy. I'm not going to give trade secrets to Pitch since he's the opposing manager, even though I should. Me, Doggo, and Anomaly scrimmed Houston's roster yesterday. They're figuring it out. So, good luck.
Yeah, their roster definitely is a lot better than what it's been. So.
I mean, why'd you go in with such crappy people with you, Bacon? That's crazy.
I had to freaking carry. I know.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
RLC versus DV, which is Death Valley. I'm taking my boys in Death Valley to put an end to the big head we just gave Smurfy.
I want to pick Smurfy, but I cannot. I'm going with Red Guy and Patty and the boys, Death Valley.
I love Red Guy and Patty are my boys, but I do want to win this this season's predictions record. So after tonight, I do see RLC winning over Death Valley next week.
You heard it here first. Pitch hates Patty and Red Guy. Las Vegas versus Omaha.
Waiting for another message. I hear you.
Yep.
Except I'm the only one that's getting it this time.
Las Vegas versus Omaha. I'm taking Omaha. Like I said earlier, like I think they look pretty good, man.
I have
like
to.
them.
I agree with you. I think Omaha looks very good, but sometimes I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm going to go with Las Vegas.
Yeah, I agree, Shade. Omaha has looked really good. Hopefully against Vegas they can pull out some consistency, and I think they'll take this series this time around.
Going over the overall record, just so everyone's aware of it. Bacon and I are tied at 21-17. 3 games behind Pitch at 24-14.
Let's go. A lot of differences this week. So
Yeah, there's chances here. There's chances here to get all kinds of screwy.
yeah, looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Rocket League, the real game news. EU
Not
stuff
this
happened.
Rock League shit.
Yeah, EU things.
I don't think
Zen.
he said Monterey yet this podcast, has he?
I didn't. I left it out for you. Okay. The Monterey Sleepy Sharks did not get put out there.
There it is.
There it is.
Well,
But yeah, EU stuff happened. I gotta be honest with you, not as exciting to watch.
it's not.
Like I didn't care.
It's not. You've got G2 free playing while they're in actual games, trying to go for the weirdest of stuff. Just it's not what it is. Watching Vitality very much has that feel. I do think NA has geared themselves to compete with a roster like that. But the top teams in EU didn't look great coming out day one. They still made it through, but they didn't look great day one. So we'll see how that transpires. But if you're into that sort of thing, definitely check it out. Each weekend is going to be filled with Rocket League stuff and things for a while.
I'm all in on RLCS this season. Big G2 guy, have been, and excited to see them do their thing. So
I cannot wait to find out where Worlds is going to be.
Oh, please be somewhere I can go.
I do always love finding out where locations are.
Yeah, I don't want.
I
I don't
would
want
like
to go
to
to
go
one of
to-
the majors. I want to go to Worlds again. So
I mean, I'll go to both.
I will.
be
Well,
honest.
yeah,
Maybe
but
somewhere close. I would love to do like what we did in Boston last year.
Oh, I would
was
love to.
A lot of fun.
Maybe you can get a shirt.
Yeah. You mean the shirt I had and then didn't have?
Yeah, maybe you can get one of those. I don't know.
Jesus.
I love you, bitch.
Oh my god. It is our fault though.
It is.
We slept in substantially.
It's yours and ours because we thought it was fine on the handle. Like, who's gonna take this shirt?
Who did take the shirt? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I even asked the front desk. I stood out there for like 15 minutes while they called all their cleaners and shit.
One of them had to have it. Nobody randomly is gonna take somebody's random shirt. That's disgusting. Like, it wasn't a used shirt, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
Like, ew.
They
Well,
gave
anyways.
they gave it the sniff test and said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
So
Anyways, thanks for listening to this week. Be on the lookout for some more news on things and for us to do another podcast next week.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.